My name's Amber. This is my channel, Read for Life. Hi Readlings, welcome to Mammoth. How are you doing? I hope you're enjoying your break. I don't have my lighting here and I hope that you can see me okay, that there's not like shadows where there's not supposed to be. So I've been trying to learn about shooting videos and how to light correctly. I just watched a video that said that you're not supposed to be in the center, that you're supposed to be slightly off center, right? And you're supposed to plan the background behind you. Before I get going into the book I want to talk about, maybe I'll tell you about this morning. You know, too much information. This morning I woke up and I just wiped right there. I just had this feeling, and then my whole hand was wet and I ran into the bathroom and I was just dripping like a faucet, blood everywhere. One thing that happens to me in Mammoth is I always get horrendous nosebleeds. I think I get like all dried out or something. Another thing is I get a lot of reading done, but don't you worry, I typically don't start reading until 10 at night because there's just too many things to do here. Tomorrow we're going to be spending time at Convict Lake and I'm really excited because Onyx gets to go. The book that I want to talk about today is a graphic novel called Witches, and it's written by Scott Snyder, and it's really, really, really good. And he also wrote American Vampire, which is a series that I bought for my husband. I haven't had a chance to read yet. I love vampires, number one. And number two, my husband loves Stephen King, and I guess the first part was like a collab between Snyder and Stephen King. And then on this book, up at the top, you probably can't see it, it says it's a fabulous triumph, and that's like from Stephen King. This is a true story. Last time that we were here, which wasn't that long ago, we were here at Christmas time, I was reading a horror graphic novel, and in the middle of the night, I got really scared. I woke up and I came down the stairs. It was really dark, and I swear that something was walking with me. And I had to like run down quickly, turn on all of the lights, and if you've ever been to Mammoth at night, it's like super, super, super dark. And I couldn't sleep for the whole rest of the night. Luckily, every time we come, Onyx is with us, but at first he stayed in bed with, you know, Rick Bear, and I kind of wanted to leave him there because I didn't want anything to happen to him. And you know, like in horror stories, something always happens to the dog. That's just part of the horror genre. Anyway, I didn't want anything to happen to Onyx, so I made him stay upstairs, and then I was just downstairs with all the lights on, freaked out for the whole night. So knowing that that happened last time, it was a really good idea, I think, to start reading a horror graphic novel here. One thing about the horror genre that I really like is there's so much symbolism, and if you're learning how to analyze literature, how to find deeper meanings, one of the easiest ways is to look at the horror genre. One thing that I don't love is typically in almost any really good horror story, there's something in there that's just like a little too disturbing, like it crosses that line, like you're okay, you're okay, you're okay. And then the writer or the artist or the director does something that crosses the line that makes you a little bit uncomfortable. And why does it make you uncomfortable? Because it like breaks some type of rule or social expectation or some type of boundary that you think you're not supposed to, or it brings light to something that you actually don't want to see in life, and so it makes you see it more clearly. And so that's another part of the horror genre that I dislike. I'll tell you about the first chapter because I don't want to give too much away, and I never know like how much of a story can I tell, how much is acceptable in a video, and is my assumption that by the time somebody watches this, they will already have read it, or when somebody watches this video, they are going to read it. I don't know how to view this, but I did read on Reddit. I've been doing my research. I went to Reddit and I looked up booktubers, and there's like this whole Reddit for new booktubers and stuff, and people ask all these questions like, what do I talk about? What do I do? Do I have to do book hauls? Do I have to do book reviews? And this one person responded and they said, do whatever you want. And I think if you think back to my intro, I was like, this is my YouTube channel. I get to do whatever I want. And so that's what I'm doing. In the first chapter, you start kind of in the middle of a story. what has happened is this family has moved to a new town to get a fresh start because they are escaping a haunting that has already happened to them. So it's like, that's where most stories end, is the family moves at the end to get the fresh start. And now you're getting to join the family as they move to the new town, hoping that nobody knows what happened in the old place that they live. The character's name is Sailor, and she's a teenager. She's the one basically that experienced the haunting in the old town. But it starts off with a bully, and they take that incident of the bully, and again, the writer crosses that line and makes it so extreme that anybody reading this would see, oh, that is not acceptable, that is not okay, oh, that would never happen in the, quote, real world, that would only happen in a story, and it's like kind of grotesque. But of course, this is a story, and so therefore the bully, whose name is Annie, she gets taken care of, okay? So I'll just say in the first chapter, she gets taken care of. So these are all these little flashbacks that happen throughout the chapter, and all of the chapter does that, where there's these little flashbacks that give you some of the past. And another thing that I really appreciate in here is that Snyder makes the father of Sailor, he's a cartoonist, a graphic novel writer himself, and so then you get some of this story within story, and you get to see some of what he's writing inside the story. So I like that kind of meta level inside of a story. Another thing that I like to see in graphic novels is when the characters have tattoos. And so the tattoo on the father here is the Ferris wheel, and after you read this, you'll see that the Ferris wheel is one of those symbols that I was talking about, and so that it has particular meaning to the father. It also has a particular meaning to the story, and most likely has a particular meaning to the reader that helps to find something deeper on this. Now, there's quite a bit of violence in here. There's a little bit of scary stuff. There's unnatural things that happen. There's real life fears that are faced that are common for everybody. But there's this complexity and great storytelling that makes me want to suggest this to you. So look for it in the classroom, as long as you won't get scared like I do at 3 in the morning at Mammoth. I thought it's a little bit unfair that every time there's vegan snack time, Onyx just gets to clean the plate. So today he has his own vegan snack plate. Let's see, do you want it? Oh, yeah. Okay, you just like eat the whole thing at once. Slow down, little boy. Oh, you get your own vegan snack time. It's so good. Oh, yum, yum, yum. You can clean that up, little boy. At Stella's Coffee also, they had some vegan chocolate chip cookies. So they were vegan, but also gluten-free. I love gluten, you know, but I ate them anyway. And when you dip them, like in your coffee, it's really good. But just for eating right now for a snack, I have made some salsa, and it is so spicy and so good. And this is like the second jar. We're only on whatever this is, day 2, and already eating the second jar of the salsa that I made. You can't have this, Onyx. It is way too hot for you. Bye, seedlings. Catch you later. Easy. Thanks for stopping by. Go ahead, hit like, subscribe. Catch you next time.